Does anybody remember the Rick Wakeman rock opera, War of the Worlds? The chances of anything coming from Mars are 1,000,000 to 1, they said. Yet still, they come. And for over a year, this particular Martian fighting machine, which I captured and rewired and set up in my front yard as a bit of garden ornament, sculpture, decoration, has been working diligently to charge a 12-volt storage battery, which, when it was given to me for my birthday a year ago, seemed in too good a condition for it to join the others, which I keep in the pyramid, because where else should you store your electricity at 12 volts before pulling it out and turning it into 240 volt alternating current, so that whatever line drop is incurred on the voyage across to the humble abode / palatial residence is minimal, because 6 volts line drop out of 240 volts is nothing, but 6 volts line drop out of 12 volts is half the power entirely. So these all being old, second-hand, rescued, resurrected car batteries, I was loath to put this lovely, juicy, brand new deep cycle storage battery in there and have its guts sucked out of it. Therefore, thus and because, this captured Martian fighting machine, aka the Original Mark I SunFoil 5-watt streamlined array for automotive use, the originator and precursor of the current state-of-the-art leader, the third prototype, which is a solar thermal ramjet as well as a thermosiphon driven air pump. But I digress. This SunFoil has been keeping this battery in good condition. The only work that battery has done was to run the electric motor on the air compressor, which put the 30-litre bubble of 100 pounds per square inch air on top of the 130-litre tank of water, which makes up my point defence high-capacity firefighting equipment. So, when my daughter gave me this outdoor radio for Christmas in 2014, which was eating Duracells of the C-size variety, 6 at a time, at $8 a pair, which made it a $24 exercise to fill the battery compartment, and 10 days after you filled it, the radio would stop for low voltage. One would have to get in there with a multimeter, prong the individual batteries, write down their individual voltages and positions, and record the day that you've done all this, so that only the batteries which have actually completely, utterly failed and reversed their polarity or got 0 voltage, are discarded, and the better ones, the batteries which have not quite yet failed, they can be put aside, so that you might save 6 batteries out of the first lot the first time. You put the second lot in, and as soon as one of them fails, just replace it with the best battery out of the first lot. And that way, with a lot of jiggery pokery, you can get 12 days of radio out of a set of $24 worth of batteries. It was suggested to me I was a fool for buying Duracells, and I might like to try the cheapest batteries in the shop. These are the cheapest batteries in the shop. $3 a pair, not $8 a pair. These batteries have been here for 6 days. Admittedly, 3 of those days have been quite light usage, because I've been doing other things, field slashing, whippersnipping, things that precluded me from sitting around on the veranda listening to the radio. However, 6 days for batteries that cost $3 a pair instead of $8 a pair. We're looking at $9 worth of batteries versus $24 to use Duracells to fill that spot. However, before I tumble to the idea of using cheap batteries, if you're going to chew through batteries, I decided to go for the Solar Rechargeable route. So instead of $24 or $9 every, well, could be a week, it could be a fortnight, depending on which batteries last longest, the rechargeable batteries, they're only $9 a pair. So $54 gets 2 complete full sets of batteries. Another $25 gets a charging unit, which can be run on the inverter, but it'll probably take 2 amps out of the pyramid batteries to run the inverter, to push the current across to the hut, to run this thing, which really only wants 0.8 of an amp. So, happily, this unit comes equipped with a 12-volt charging plug. And it can charge 2 or 4 C-sized rechargeable nickel metal hydride, or nickel cadmium, in this case nickel metal hydride, batteries via your stock standard automotive cigarette lighter plug type connection direct to the battery, which otherwise had nothing to do. Now, every time one set of batteries goes flat, I will put the waiting, ready, pre-charged replacements in and immediately charge up from the car battery, which will have been refilled in the meantime by the Martian fighting machine. Oops, I mean the SunFoil Mark 1. So finally, it's got a regular job to do. And if you were to use a standard, say a 10-watt solar panel that cost you maybe $20, $25 at JCar, and a $30 charge controller, you could then go and get yourself a deep cycle storage battery for maybe $120 for 100 amp hours. And you don't have to make up spacey looking garden furniture, because yours doesn't ever have to cope with 90 kilometres, 120 kilometres an hour slipstream on the highway, because yours can remain as garden furniture, whereas mine used to live up there and have to put up with road speed plus wind speed plus trucks coming the other way. So that's why I happen to have a 5-watt solar charger that just lent itself to the role of Martian fighting machine. I couldn't resist dressing it up. As it sits there. And if you look at that, you'll see that the left-hand circuit has decided that it is charged. Isn't it juicy? The Martian fighting machine. Only instead of sucking the goodness out of the earth for the benefit of the wicked evil aliens, it is charging the storage battery, so we can go from lead acid storage at 12 volts to 1.2 volts of nickel metal hydride storage, in order to eliminate the need for regular replacement, either $9 a set or $24 a set, in order to enable me to be ear fed.
I'll buy that. Don't worry about it. You're not really going to miss anything as good as...
Because I must admit that, as kitschy as it is, it does kind of grow on one, and it actually does have a better tone than the previous 1970s vintage Philips radio. But considering the efficiency of the Philips, it's a much better machine, and I think I might conserve it for the day when you can't get new batteries. In the meantime, we'll let the power hog have its run. In the fullness of the time, I'll probably put up another movie showing the difference in power efficiency of using a 240 volt system, how long it takes to charge and how much battery power it uses, versus using 12 volts DC to run the unit. .59 volts. 0.27 of an amp coming out of the battery. .25 of an amp going in. And it'll be interesting to see how long the batteries from group B take before they're charged up compared to the ones in group A, which have got a 5-minute lead on them at the moment. So, who said I was a mad scientist? And why do they want to know? Warbles on a lot to YouTube. Ciao.